Hello guys and welcome to another character build video. Today we will be studying Seele. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about some basic info on her stats. She has the 7 lowest base HP in the game, which is 931. She also has the 9th highest base attack in the game, which is 640, making her weaker than Qingque. She has the 3rd lowest base defense in the game, which is 363, but she has the highest speed in the game, which is 115. Her aggro value is 75 because she's a hand character. Now let's go over her abilities real quick. First of all, her basic attack deals quantum single target damage. With her skill, she deals more single target damage and also buff her own speed by 25%. And with her ultimate, she deals even more single target damage. Her talent, Resurgence, gives you an attack buff and an extra turn after you kill an enemy. Enemies defeated in that extra turn will not trigger Resurgence again. It is recommended if you have max energy to use your ultimate before triggering Resurgence so that you can regain energy back from the extra attacks. Now moving on to her traces. Let's start with the first one. She has something similar to Wooden Hang. While her HP is below 50%, she gets staggered less. The aggro value goes from 75 to 37.5. For her Ascension 4, whenever Seele is in the buffed state, her Quantum Respan is increased by 20%. So, whenever you defeat an enemy, you get even more damage while in Resurgent state. In Session 6, whenever she uses the basic attacks, her next turn will be advanced forward by 20%. You don't really use her basic attack often, but it's a good bonus for when you do. Now for trace priority. You want to prioritize her skill because around 70% of her damage comes from her skill and basic attack. Next, you want to level up her ultimate because the other 30% of damage comes from her ultimate. And then talent because you will deal more damage during Resurgence. And lastly, the basic attack. For the minor traces, prioritize crit damage and attack. Now let's go over her light guns. They will be listed from the best to the worst. In the night, or Seele's signature light gun, it gives you a nice amount of crit rate, and for every 10 speed you have above 100, you get bonus damage on your skill and basic attack, as well as crit damage for ultimate. It also has a very high base stat compared to other light guns, but of course because it's a limited 5-star light gun. Next we got Sleep Like the Dead. You can get this one from the shop exchange or standard barn. It has a high base stat and it increases your crit damage, and when you have a crit on your basic attack or skill, your crit rate for basic attack and skill will be increased for a turn by a huge amount. Considering how many hits her skill has, this is very easy to activate. Now our third best option is Swordplay. It has a decent base stat as well as a very good effect. I've said this earlier that the skill can easily stack Swordplay damage bonus because of how it works. It's not each time you attack the enemy per each valid hit you do. Even on Superimpose 1, it is still better than the last light gun. And our last light gun is Cruising in the Stellar Sea, or the boat one. You can get this icon from the Ether shop and it's pretty easy to superimpose 5 it. It has a bit more best stat than Swordplay and it also has a really great effect. You get 16 crit rate and another 16% when their HP is lower than 50%. But in order to maximize the full potential of the light gun, you need to defeat an enemy first to get the 40% attack buff. Overall, I think this is a solid light gun for free to play. So, between the boat and Swordplay, usually you don't want to use the boat on her because she doesn't otherwise target a single enemy and she synergizes with Resurgence better with both attack buff when you defeat an enemy. Now let's talk a bit about her relics. You will want to go 4 pieces Genius of Burnt Star on her if you have Silver Wall or are going up against an enemy with Quantum Weakness. If the enemy doesn't have a Quantum Weakness, 2 pieces Musketeer and 2 pieces from Brilliant Star. That would be a viable option for her. Just use whatever has the best substat. Going for 4 pieces Musketeer with 200 crit value is better than 4 pieces Genius of Brand Star with 100 crit value. For the body, you should go for crit threat most of the time, since Seele gets a bunch of crit damage and trace, but usually you'd go for whatever crit you're lacking in substat. For the boots, go for attack percent on your boot, because Seele needs those secure kills to get resurgent buff. You also don't want to speed even if you're running a signature icon in the night. Now about her ornaments, her best one will be the new one from Simulated Universe World 7, Relics Arena. It gives you a nice amount of crit rate, and when you're above 70% crit rate, it gives you a whopping 20% basic attack and skill damage increase. Around 65% Seele's damage come from her skill and basic attack. So that's why this is her new best ornament set. You can also use the other ornament sets such as Space Sealing Station and Inner Salsoto. They give a nice offensive set bonuses. Now, since Resilient Arena is a new best ornament set, it is just around 3 to 5% damage difference between the two other sets. Generally, Resilient Arena is better than Space Sealing Station, and Space Sealing Station is better than Inner Salsoto. Just use whatever you have with the best substats. For the main stats, you want quantum damage on the sphere and attack percent on the rope. You can also use attack percent sphere if you don't have a quantum damage sphere yet. And for substats, you want crit, either rate or damage, and attack percent. Now let's move on and talk about her Eidolons. I know most of you won't have her Eidolons, so I'm just gonna speedrun this. Her E1 gives more crit rate when the enemy is lower than 80% HP. Her E2, the speed boost from her skill is takeable up to 2 times now. Her E3, her skill and talent both get +2 level each. On E4, she generates 15 energy when defeating an enemy. E5, her ultimate gets +2 levels and her basic attack gets +1. E6, after Seele uses her ultimate, inflicts the target enemy with Butterfly Flurry for 1 turn. Enemies suffering from Butterfly Flurry will take additional quantum damage equal to 15% of Seele's ultimate damage every time they are attacked. Now let's talk a bit about her team composition. Her most optimal teammate is Silverwolf. She pairs with her amazingly well because she can apply quantum weakness on enemy, which allows Seele to access the full potential of 4 pieces Brilliant. She also shreds enemy defense, allowing Seele to hit insane damage numbers. But if you don't have a Silverwolf, worry not, there are still plenty of other options. For Nility, obviously Pela is really good to pair with her for the defense she shreds. Welt is not as good with her since he hits up a lot of skill points, which Seele needs. This means you need 2 skill point positive characters to maintain these 2. This can be detrimental in emergencies where you have to use your healer skills but don't have enough skill points. But don't let that demotivate you, Welt is still an extremely strong character. For the buffers now, the obvious ones are going to be Qingque and Bronya. While it might seem that buffing Seele with these 2 consume a lot of skills points, Seele carries the buff over on the extra turn she gets from Resurgence, meaning she's more efficient to buff than other carries. You could also go Asta if you have none of the other characters. So, our most optimal team with no Silverwolf would be an Hyper carry team with Seele, Qingque, Bronya and Luocha. Luocha gets even more amazing with his Eidolons and can help Seele increase her damage output even further. Our best team will be Seele, Silverwolf, Bronya and Luocha. You can obviously substitute Luocha for other healers, and if you want more safety you could also go for Seele, Buffer, Debuffer, Healer and a tank. Going for this team reduces your damage output by a lot, but allows you to be incredibly safe. And with this, the video is now over. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe and share also, because I get paid 1 pesos every 100 views. See you next time. Au revoir.